Hey, what's up, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Audio check. And right now it's showing that the audio is working. I know last week it was cutting in and out. Not really sure why. Got the notification, so that means we should be good. I'm going to scroll over. All right, so I'm going to pull up my other chat while we get an audio check, and we should be good to go. There we go. There is. Oh, it's going to let me monetize this. Maybe I will. Good. Everybody good? Got 1, 2, 3 blessings. Okay, what's up? Cool. Thank you for the audio check. All right, so it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. If you're here, you're probably single. If you're here and you're not single, you've probably been married for a long time. So either way, glad you're here. We're going to try to probably go for like a half an hour or so. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do downstairs. I will be doing a fish room update tomorrow, and that will be one of the 2 or 3 videos that will be posted this week. And yeah, so that noise in the background. So I adopted a cat. Yeah, so I basically adopted an 8-month-old female cat. If you guys know, I had a cat named Freya. I posted a bunch of pictures of her on Instagram on 2020. She became a garden tool of a cat, and she ran away during that while she was in heat. This one's actually getting spaded next week, so we don't have to worry about that. Either way, I did adopt a cat. I am a cat person, and I still have Axel, and those two do not get along, so hopefully that will change. Either way, yeah. So again, welcome to the live stream Q&A. Feel free to start putting questions. They can be anything. This week we can do saltwater. We can do whatever. Yeah, just ask whatever questions you want. If I don't answer it, then it was stupid or inappropriate. So, or I just skipped it, one of the 2 or 3. But yeah, so I don't really have any updates. I appreciate all the support. Again, if you're a veteran and you're new to the channel and you want to be added to the monthly coral giveaway, feel free to email me at fisheffects@gmail.com or reach out to me on the website. I do have a few videos on everything to go in, but I don't really want to go into everything right now on how to enter. You can just reach out to me. And yeah, other than that, there's not really any major sales going on. I have gotten caught up pretty decently. I think I got like 50 orders in queue for 3D printing. Now that might seem like a lot, but opposed to the 150 a week and a half ago, I'm doing pretty good. I was able to ship out at least 20 coral orders today. I'll be shipping out the rest tomorrow. So if your order did not ship, if you didn't get a notification, it's going to go out tomorrow. As long as the weather holds and everything's good. That was the reason why I got backed up, was it got really, really cold, like sub 15, sub 10 degrees at some points on the last few weeks. And I don't like to ship during that. So other than that, that's pretty much it for updates. There's nothing crazy going on. If you want to support the channel, head over to fisheffects.com. So with that said, let's go and scroll up, see if there's anything. Oh, Kim is here. Yeah, Kim. Hey, well, here's a cat. Her name is Wiggles, by the way. Anyways, it's been a long time since I've been able to be here, Travis Q&A. It's nearly 1 a.m. in the UK. Well, I appreciate you being here. 1 a.m. Yeah, that's right. Time ahead. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. You don't obviously have to stay for the whole time, but thanks for stopping in. All right, what's up? How much did your tank cost? A lot. Hey Travis, does coralline algae come in different colors? I seem to have it in pink, green, and red. Yes, it comes in all 3 of those colors. It's actually can be in different shapes too. Or there's like a plating one, which is really cool. I haven't been able to get that in my tanks, any tank that I've ever had. But yeah, there's a plating one that looks really, really cool. It kind of looks like a scrolling Montipora. So if anybody has any of that, let me know. I'd be interested in adding it to my system. It'd be pretty cool to grow and sell as like chips and chunks. But yeah, you definitely can have it in green, pink, and red for sure. I think I have a little bit of green in mine too. What happened? What happened, man? It's Austin and what's happening, man? It's Austin. I'm just on my business account. Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, what's up? Just chilling, man. It's Monday. Mondays are my busy day. You guys know that I have the boys now, so I have them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturdays. So the rest of my week is pretty busy. So I try to get everything done that's really significant, get videos recorded over the weekend and Monday and Tuesday. But I end up having to cover the old company that I used to do investigations for. I covered 16 hours this past weekend, so I didn't really get much done, at least not that I wanted to. But yeah, there's always tomorrow, so I'll try to get everything else done tomorrow. But yeah, and I had jujitsu twice today, and I have it tomorrow's my 4-hour day, so just trying to fit all that in there. But yeah, other than that, doing pretty good. I'm getting my first aquarium with a sump. Should I jump straight to fleece roller with the money I'd spend on 10 socks? I'd want ready to go. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I've never used a roller, but they seem to be pretty good. Again, you're going to have to replace that roller. I mean, I'm a filter sock person just because it's really not that bad. I can get them pretty cheap wholesale. They're relatively easy to clean, and I clean an entire washer full at one time. So it's usually once every 2 months I go ahead and clean the sock. So it's not really a big deal for me, but hey, it depends on what your schedule is and what you got going on. If you have money to burn and you just want to kind of do the roller thing, then do it up. Pretty cool concept. I'm actually looking to 3D print my own version of it, but it's on the list of like 70 other things that are on the list. And I'll probably never get to it, and that's just unfortunate. So, but yeah, you can do it if you want, man. What do you dose for alkalinity and calcium? I use a calcium reactor, and I use calc, but I've used 2-part as well in other systems. But right now, primarily it's a calcium reactor, and I turn on the calc as needed. So, but yep. What do I feed my corals? I don't feed them anything. I just focus on feeding the fish. If you're new to the channel, I do have a bunch of videos on how to make your own fish food. And within that food, the way that I make it, it's pretty fine because I run it through a meat grinder, which I use to process deer meat. And basically, when I feed the fish, all the fine particles and all that stuff from them, eating it spreads throughout the tank. Corals seem to be pretty happy about that as well. So I don't directly feed corals. And I don't think I really ever have. I think way back in the beginning, I might have tried it with like hammers and torches and Lobos and stuff like that, but I've never really focused too much. I know that I did a video on Polyp Labs. They're what is it? Reefroids? Is it Polyp Lab makes Reefroids? I think they do, yeah. And I did a little bit of stuff with acans, and then I usually do broadcast feeding. And basically, the broadcast feeding is the same as feeding with your fish food, so it seems to work out pretty well. Hey, what's up, Sammy? What's up, Marcus? What's up, Jay? What's up, guys? Appreciate you being here. How low do you think is too low for nitrate? Well, if it's if it's an SPS tank, I try not to get below 3 ppm. I mean, there's countless times that I've gotten down to 0 and end up getting dino, but that's just because of my own say stupidity, my lack of maintenance. But yeah, so 3 to 5 ppm is usually what I recommend for, and most people recommend for nitrates in an SPS tank. Now you can go higher, of course. I wouldn't recommend going any lower, just because you do kind of fall into that territory where is if you go too low, you could potentially get dino in the tank, and you can just run into some stupid issues with that. So yeah, I would say 3 is about as low as you want to go, and that's going to be accurately test. So using a HANA nitrate tester would be ideal for that. What's up, guys? What's up, Darren? Greetings. So one vet to another. I appreciate it, Manny. Appreciate it. Happy Veterans Day, or Valentine's Day. I almost said Veterans Day. Previous message. Happy Valentine's Day. Guess it doesn't sound as good as abbreviated BD. That's right. Yeah, definitely doesn't. Have fun and stay safe tonight, folks. Yeah. I saw a meme on Instagram, and I usually don't scroll Instagram too much, but there was this person who was at the checkout, and they were like buying chocolates and a heart and a teddy bear, and it was going down the little rolly thing at the grocery store, whatever, conveyor belt. And then at the very end, there was this package of like Plan B, and the lady's like scanning everything, just like not paying attention. And then she looks at it, she's like, "What the heck?" It's pretty funny. So, yeah, well, just make sure you guys are safe, right? I'm fixed, dude, so I don't have to worry about that shit. But yeah, anyways, is this a recent video of your tank? Looks gorgeous. No, this video is like 2 years old, year and a half, 2 years old. This video is pretty old. My tank is empty, just about. I'm half tempted just to go fish only at this point. Big Bertha's still in there. I tried to catch her the other day. I almost got her, like baiting her and then trying to catch her with a net, but it's pretty rough. So my main display is got almost nothing in it. I'll show you guys during an update, but yeah, it's pretty naked. Two of my low boys are empty right now. I'm actually 3D printing a new coral grow out system, which is gonna be pretty cool. I'll see how that works out. I'll try it out in the low boys, but yeah. Um, I I just, like I mentioned before, I sold a ton of coral and I just can't grow it as fast as I sell it. So it is what it is at this point. Basically, the next year, and hopefully not much longer than that. As I mentioned before, I'm just trying to catch up, trying to get myself out of the hole from going through all that custody stuff. And yeah, once that's done, we'll be moving on to the new house and going from there, basically starting over. I haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do yet. I'll talk about more in the update tomorrow. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff in the work. Okay, that makes sense. I'll try socks first. Rite of passage. Yeah, I mean socks work good. I mean they're relatively easy to clean. I know somebody sent me an email asking, how to keep them from breaking in the washer, and I've never had that problem. So I don't know what kind of washer you got. Pretty aggressive, obviously, but the standard. I'm using a 25-year-old washer, and yeah, I mean it's just a standard. It's spinny, 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 and I don't break any socks. So, but yeah, they work. How after do you? I guess how long after do you add live bacteria to your tank to keep your ammonia levels down? I don't. I mean, after you initially set it up, or just in general. Um, I mean, that's all part of the nitrogen cycle. So this damn cat's going crazy. So I don't ever add ammonia to any of my tanks. I mean, in the beginning, if I'm going to cycle a tank, I usually cycle the rock separately, and I've talked about this in a few different videos. If my preferred method is to have a brute trash can, put my rock in there, cover it, add a little bit of food, just a couple sprinkles here and there, depending on the rock. If it's Bucani that's already dirty, I don't really need to add any food. But if it's just Reef Saver Drive rock, I'll add a little bit of food, and I'll cover it, add a heater, a power head for flow, all that kind of stuff, and I'll let it cure in there, and then I'll add it to the tank, and then go from there. But a lot of people don't do that. I think the majority of us don't do that. They just put the rock in the tank because who really wants to have it sitting in a brute can? But yeah, so if you put it in the tank and it's just dry rock, of course, I would leave the lights off. I wouldn't add any fish. I would, you can add a piece of shrimp if you want to do that, or you can add like the Kickstarter beneficial bacteria. There's a whole bunch of that stuff out there. I think I've used it a couple times, and then you can just feed the tank a little bit of flake food or a little bit of mysis shrimp, anything that kind of can break down to feed the bacteria. And then, of course, still give it a little bit of time before you start adding fish. And then when you do start adding fish, go slow so you don't get ammonia spikes. But other than that, I don't really add anything or make it too complex. It's a pretty basic concept. What's up, Rob? I had a coral farmer tell me that nitrates and phosphate should be zero, and basically scolded me for having them. Okay, well, teach his own, I guess. um, I mean, listen, I guess in the ocean, if you were to test nitrates and phosphates in the ocean, they're pretty much undetectable. Um, and I don't know how often you're seeing dino in the ocean. I mean, I'm sure it's in there. I think isn't the red. I don't know. That could be a different thing. The red tide. I don't think that's dino. I think that's greens. I don't know. I don't remember what the hell that is exactly. But for some reason, I thought about it. But either way, yeah. So the ocean water is pretty much zero nitrates and phosphates detectable wise. But it's so diverse. So many different types of bacteria. There's so many different things. Obviously, it's the ocean, so we can basically get away with that. In our closed systems, if you go to zero nitrates and phosphates, you have a really good chance of getting dino, which thrives in an environment like that. Now, dino will come up. You'll be like, oh, well, how the hell did I get dino in my tank? I'm a pretty strong believer that dino is always there. I think it's just part of a reef system. And this is my opinion, guys. This isn't based off any research. It just kind of makes sense on how I put it together in my own head and my other personalities, discussing it. So basically, I feel the dino's in the system all the time. I think it only shows its face when the nutrients are so low in your system that the bacteria and the organisms that usually keep dino at bay and keeping it away from showing its face, those start to die off. because the nutrients are not high enough to support the food source and the life of those beneficial organisms. And when those organisms or the bacteria or whatever you want to call them die off, that's when dino will creep in and start overtaking the tank. It's really a balancing act. And when you find and when you start getting dino, 9 out of 10 times it's because your nutrients are really low. Of course, there are several species out there within the hobby that are not nutrient dependent, and they're a little bit more of a pain to get rid of. But the majority of the time, it's because of that. So, yeah, I mean, again, to each his own. I mean, if you want to have zero nitrates and phosphates, go ahead. I mean, your corals are probably going to be pretty pale, and you can have dino. But I mean, again, obviously, he's a coral farmer. I mean, technically, if you have more than one of anything, you can be a farmer, right? So maybe he's got 2 frags in a tank. He's a farmer. I don't know. I'm just being a dick at this point. What brand of filter socks do you recommend and how many microns? I don't fucking know what I have. I don't know. I bought them off BRS a long time ago. I think they're 200 micron. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, the smaller, the smaller the size of the hole, for basically the micron, the quicker they're going to clog up. So you just got to find a balance for whatever your system is. But 200 is pretty common. I have a brick and mortar store in Lubbock. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know how to say that right. Almost said lube. Texas. Would you be interested in printing for me? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could print. Is that what you mean? My cat is super weird. I don't really want to get into how she's weird, but I'm just going to mention this. So I adopted her. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I hear what she's doing right now, and it's really irritating. So I adopted her. She's healthy. Everything's good. I don't know what kind of environment she was, I don't know what she was doing before, but she poops in her litter box and pisses in my sink. I looked it up, and everyone's like, it could be like a UTI or whatever, and whatever. So she's going to the vet anyways next week, but it's super weird. Like, I mean, it could be worse, right? She'd be pissing on the rug, but I mean, she goes into my bathroom sink and pees in it. It's just super strange. I've never had that before. But she does the rest of her business in the box. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not mad. It's just really weird. So yeah, if anybody's a vet out there, let me know what the hell that means. But yeah, I print whatever. I mean, at this point, I got to add more printers, of course. Story of my life. I mentioned before that I'm going to be doing something like that, and I'll talk about it more in the update video tomorrow. But like I said, I got to kind of get my rest of my life back together before I start dropping 20 grand on printers, since I already have like 25 in printers. But yeah, so yeah, whatever you need, just let me know. I mean, I do bulk pricing for companies all the time. Certain items, yeah. I mean, it just depends. Depends on what you want to do. Wow, never actually caught you live. Always just rewatch. Hey, appreciate you being here. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's super cute. I'll get you guys a picture on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should come over there. I don't really post a ton of stuff, but I do family stuff mostly, and 3D printing. Hey, Travis, what's up, Reef girl? The one I send memes to. I do get on Instagram and send her memes all the time. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate you being here. Glad to catch you live. Need more thumbs up. Yeah. I mean, at this point, does YouTube even care about thumbs up or anything since they took the thumbs down away? I guess. I did rewatch the last live that I missed most of and wanted to say congratulations on the custody situation. Sucks when life has rough patches, but makes us appreciate the good that much more. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm a strong believer that everything in life happens for a reason. I'm not upset about it. I'm upset on how it took place. The whole situation in general. I mean, listen, I'm happier now than I've ever been my entire life. I mean, I work a ton. Being a single dad of 4 boys is definitely not the easiest thing in the world while you're running a business and doing 15 hours of jiu-jitsu a week. Yeah, so I'm definitely content with being single and content with, I really like my business. I really like, I love having the boys around. I love having all that stuff. So I'm truly happy, and I wouldn't change that or go back to my previous situation for anything. It just isn't something I would want to do. I just don't like how it all took place. But and the amount of money that I spent was astronomical. I mean, I spent more in one year than most people make in multiple years working full time. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, my brand new like basically I spent enough to buy my 1,000-gallon reef tank and all the fixings and the down payment on the house. Gives you a perspective. It's fucking ridiculous. So that's why I'm still here and I haven't moved. But yeah, but it was worth it because at the end of the day, I grew up without my father, and he's a piece of shit in general. But I don't want to try to explain 10 years from now why I wasn't around because I gave up, or I decided to save my money, or I decided to buy a house first, or I decided to buy a couple turbos for the Z. I'd rather be like, hey, I spent every single penny I had, and it took me multiple years to get out of the hole, but I still have you, right? So, and that's how I look at it. And things are things, man. Family is way more important. So, yeah, appreciate the support on that, Marcus. Red tide is caused by cyano. Yep, that's right, David. Man, I'm sorry I'm yawning in your guys' ears, man. I got my ass kicked today. So I'm trying to adjust. Yeah, red tide is cyano. Thanks for clarifying that, by the way. Sweet camper you got in your picture. Red tide discoloration of seawater usually caused by dino during specific blooms or population increases. Yep. I'll probably look into that a little bit more. Hey, yo, Furzinski, Wiggles, whatever your name is. That's why I call my dog Furzinski. But she's trying to get outside because she's going to be a garden tool of a cat if I don't get her fixed soon. The joys of 8-month-old kittens. I would never run 0-0. I've tried. Yeah. Sammy, I've tried too. I mean, back in the day, that whole thing with Zeovit, everybody was trying to have zero nutrients. But then again, Zeovit system uses specific bacteria that you have to dose and then specific foods at specific times. I mean, the concept of Zeovit is really cool. If you're a nerd and you want to kind of, geek out on that stuff, I mean, Zeovit is pretty cool for that aspect. I just don't like the way the corals actually look in a fully running Zeovit system. They seem too chalky for me, and just not my thing. And it's super expensive. I mean, can you imagine running a 300-gallon with full Zeovit? Man, you might be doing blowies on the corner to pay for that. That's insane. Because it was expensive on a 25. I was like, all right, well, I'm done. Couldn't find my AirPods. How's it going? Hey, what's up, Caleb? Hey, it's going, man. Hopefully everything's going well for you. Is there any big coral shows going on anywhere on the East Coast? Because I have this urge. Hey, can we not? It's the witching hour. And back to what I was saying. Is there any coral shows on the East Coast? I just kind of get out of the house and just go meet some people and do something. But yeah, she's been trying to sit on my face while I'm trying to sleep. Not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. At least not worth any coral tank. Yeah. I've been siphoning thick cyanoblobs out of my sump section. First time I've had it in years. Travis, do you think I can stay ahead of this way? PO4 reads 0.2 and nitrates 17. Not sure what to do. I would continue to siphon it out until it's completely gone and do it every day to get a hold of it. You can use ChemiClean if you want. ChemiClean works, but it's not going to solve the problem. You got to figure out why you're. And I mean, believe me, if you're getting I would siphon out all the cyano and then test the next day just to kind of get a more accurate reading of what your phosphates really are. Because if there's cyano in the system, you're going to end up getting a little bit of a false reading there. And yes, what's up, Kat? And yeah, so I mean, ChemiClean works well, but again, you're not going to fix the problem. You got to figure out why you have the higher phosphates. So, but yeah, siphoning out is fine. Reefapalooza, Florida is in April. Go for your birthday. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, I might do that. 0.2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would continue to siphon it out and then use, if you want to use ChemiClean, you can, but you got to get a more accurate reading of what your phosphates are. Because if you see, like I said, if you see cyano, you're not getting the right reading. She is on some kind of, I don't know. I don't understand why cats are just They're so weird. I mean, I love cats, but they're just weird. Just weird, man. That's why if you meet a woman in her 40s with 5 cats, just fucking run away. No offense to anybody in the live stream who has four or 5 cats and you're in your 40s. I get it. Anyways, I looked at your curing new rock video where you put the new dry rock in the bins. It's been in there like 2 months now. I do anything wrong? I don't understand what you're saying. Okay. I looked at your curing new dry rock video where you put the new dry rock in the bins. It's been in there like 2 months now. I do anything wrong? I'm not really sure what you're asking there. You have rock in a bin for the last 2 months? Is that what you're saying? Let me know. I'll keep an eye on the chat, the other chat. What's up, Missy? I'll keep an eye on the other chat. I just don't understand what you're asking. Maybe I read it wrong, but I don't understand what you're asking. Cindy, okay. You print whatever. Could you print something like a controller cabinet? Controller cabinet. Probably not. Like, I mean, when I say I could print anything, I mean, I have 2 size prints. I have like an average 7-inch by 7-inch by 7-inch type of printer, which is on an Ender 3 platform, and then I have an Ender 5 Plus, which is the larger, like 13 by 13 by 13. And now I have built several things that you can on the big printer that I can connect together, but with only having 2 of my Ender 5 Pluses and many orders in queue waiting to get on those printers because they're so big. I can't take on any jobs that are going to require multiple big prints that connect together. So I make a bunch of things, the whole controllers, and I can do that kind of stuff. Yeah, no problem. Like if you want to fit a controller into a specific piece of plastic to get a color you want to mount it on a wall, I can do that. But anything major, big, I can't take on the jobs right now because if I do, I'll fall behind on queue. And right now I've had people waiting 3 weeks, if not longer, for 3D printed items. I mean, it's not like that very often, but I just can't take on big jobs like that at the moment. What's up, Kat? Here she is. Do you recommend Biobricks? No, I don't. I have a couple of videos on that too. I know it seemed like you might be new to the channel here, which is cool. I appreciate you being here. But there's a bunch of videos. Actually, there's like 2 or 3 videos. It's not a bunch, but I have talked about Biobricks in the past. I have used them a lot. But I would say if you want to use Biobricks, put them after mechanical filtration. So that'd be in the sump after filter socks, after filter floss. You definitely don't want your overflow dumping into a section that has Biobricks because you're going to end up they're going to end up turning into sponges and collecting that stuff. And then over time, they'll start leaching out, and then you'll run into excess nutrients for sure. There have been, I wouldn't say hundreds, but there have been at least 50 people that I've talked to who I've convinced to take Biobricks out of their tank for specific, various reasons and issues that they've had that just kind of seem like they linked up to Biobricks and their whole tanks have turned around. So just food for thought. I mean, they're kind of, I don't know how expensive they are now. They used to be a little pricey, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. You don't need them. Man, I'm an attorney and will not touch family law at all. It's a death trap where everyone loses. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I won. I just lost a lot of money. But again, it's money. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, it's a shitty ride. It's a shitty ride. I'll tell you that. It's just, man, just awful. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my attorney was worth every penny though. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, just every single time we won, it was in steps, but every single time, I mean, it was worth it. We still got a couple things we got to tie up some loose ends, but, yeah, when you Google the best family law attorney in Harrisburg and that person comes up and then you're like, okay, well, how much? Oh, that one. Okay. Oh man, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt real bad. Oh, what? $300 some an hour? Okay. All right. Well, it's all right though. You get what you pay for. Clearly. Fisher Hex Aquatics. I Googled it. LOL. Okay. Breeze, the dino causes red tide in Florida. Okay. Yeah. I was pretty sure that I know it's cyano, but I was pretty sure that dino caused it too. There's also something there. I think the red tide gets so bad that it kills everything that it touches, like it gets near as well, which makes sense. Dino is pretty nasty stuff, but I swear there's something about it taking like just oxygen away. I mean, I could be just, man, this could be just coming from fucking, I don't know, not even here. But either way, yeah. So I almost thought that Dino was part of the red tide stuff, but cool. I appreciate you looking it up. Damn cat's back. What's going on, girl? An admirable life lesson to teach your kids, certainly. Yeah, I mean, listen, my dad, you know, we can only talk about too much, but my dad is actually, how do I say this? He's dying in a hotel on the side of Route 7 in Vermont, utterly alone, because of the decisions that he's made throughout his entire life. Now, of course, I go and visit when I can, but I mean, he's at the point now where he's chosen alcohol over everything, and he did that my entire life. Like he chose to drink, like my mom. I mean, I had I wouldn't say a fall up. I had like a heart to heart talk with my dad before he started going downhill. Like, hey man, I need some answers. You know, I'm 34 years old. I need to know what the heck you were doing. But so he back when we were kids. I know this is not reef related, but either way, enjoy the story. Back when we were kids, my mom gave him a choice. Like, hey, you can have the boys every weekend if you don't drink, and he decided that he would rather drink than see his kids every other weekend. So, you know, that just snowballed to, you know, not seeing him for long periods of time. And then him in and out of jail, you know, life lessons and, you know, choosing that lifestyle and drugs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, long story short, I mean, he just chose a path that was selfish and didn't care about anybody but himself. Now, granted, I turned out okay. I think the military did a pretty good job. My own self drive, you know, motivation kind of steered me in the right direction. But you know, he chose that path, and you know, I mean, I really would hate to be him, and then my kids my age, you know, resenting me and not happy with my, you know, the way I've done things. So I figured I would do the right thing now, right? But yeah, so I moved down. Any tips on coloring up zoas? Nutrients for sure. That's a big thing with zoas. Make sure your nutrients don't get zero. Also, if there's too much light, they're not gonna be. I find that they're not gonna be as happy. As you can see in the 300, most of my zoas are under rock ledges, or really low in the tank. Nothing up top. But then again, zoas are pretty good at telling you about light. You know, if they're not getting enough, they'll stretch. If they're getting too much, they'll shrink up. If you put a frag in a tank and you find that it's just, you know, if it's been a couple weeks and they're still not opening, try moving it around. Color, you know, again, back to the question, color wise, you know, nutrients, make sure you're, you know, you're good. Not zero. Gotta compliment you on your scrubber attachments. Should have done sooner. Fought chronically with low 7.8 to 7.9 pH. Now I'm constantly dialing my skimmer down so I don't top off at 8.5, 8.6. Yeah, I think you left, Thomas. I think you left your review on the website. I appreciate that, by the way. Yeah, if you guys ordered the scrubber stuff or ordered anything from the website and you're happy with it, leave a review. If you're not happy with it, you don't have to leave a review, but I will appreciate you telling me what you didn't like so I can fix it. But yeah, I mean, if you leave a review, it's not a big deal. I mean, it is what it is. People are entitled to their opinion. But yeah, the scrubber attachment thing is my number one selling item on the website. I mean, and the price is really good too. So the turnaround time is really quick. If you order a black CO2 attachment, you're gonna get it real quick, because I have 5 printers. 5 out of the 22 printers, all they do is print attachments. That's it. 24/7, 365. That's all those things print, because I can't not have them printing them. There's so many of those coming in. So yeah, if you order a black CO2 scrubber attachment, you'll get it zeroed real quick, because you know they don't take very long to print, and you know, they're good to go. Now, there are some things that I've noticed with some companies, some of the skimmers, is that they're not really consistent on how they cut the lids. So sometimes it's a little loose or it's too tight. I just tell people, hey, if you're able to shave it down a little bit to get it to fit, it's much easier. Because when I build the original skimmer attachment, that's just somebody sending in their lid for that specific model. I design it based on that lid. Now, if that company changes, you know, how they, you know, CNC just, you know, by 1 millimeter of that lid, that can affect how the attachment, you know, attaches. So you just keep that in mind and be aware of that. And you know, if there's anything major, let me know. I feel free to, you know, I'm happy to fix it. How quick that turnaround time is to fix it is is a little bit, depending on what I got for Q status. But that's why I say if there's an issue with fitment, just try to, you can, shave it down a little bit. That's probably your best option. But yeah, the CO2 attachment's good. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 skimmers sitting right here next to my desk. And I'm pumping out 2 attachments a day, which is pretty good. I designed the ring here on this printer, and then I sent them down to one of those other printers to do a final print, and then I come up and take pictures of it. Yeah, they're super popular, like ridiculously popular. I'm not mad for sure. Yeah. So anyways, appreciate that. Appreciate the review as well. What's up, Jesse? What's up? What's up? What's up? Here we go here. Reef Palooza in Florida, April. Go for your birthday. Yeah. I got to get the dates for that, but I should make that happen. I don't see why not. Flying. Oh, I can meet my buddy too. Good. Yeah. Flying to Florida is pretty cheap if I order the tickets now. Maybe I can take Allegiant. They're super cheap. And I'll just I'll meet somebody at the show. I'm like, yo, where are you sleeping? I'm just playing. No, seriously. I could book the flight and the hotel. If I do it now, it'd be really, really good deal. What are you doing? Cat, can you not lick your... Man, that's gross too. I don't know why cats are always licking their private parts. And near my pillow. I lay my face there. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, I wish there was a big frag swap near DC. Never been to one. New York has a big one every year. I don't know when that is though. I think it's every year. There's a coral show near Pittsburgh in April. 3 Arms is the sponsoring club. Okay, cool. If you want to email me some information on that cue ball, I wouldn't mind hitting that up. It's not too far away. And it's nice weather, so I could take the Z down. It'd be a nice trip, nice little road trip. Hey guys, here late. Didn't get the notification. Catching up. That was at 8:25. Man, okay, so I'm like 13 minutes behind. I know of a smaller show on the May 14th has fresh and salt. Where's that at? Send me the information. You guys can email me all the information on these shows. I definitely don't mind. If they're in relatively decent distance and I can get there, then yeah, I'll do it up. Reef Girl, when you go over, okay, he's reading that out. 0.4 PO4, the cyano will disappear naturally. I just battled this when I expanded to remote sumps. Let the PO4 climb like 2.1. It'll all be gone. Well, he's tried it. So best way to remove tin from the reef. Figure out why you got it in the first place. That's definitely something you want to look into. What is that damn? There is a media. I can't remember it, but there is a media that they use to pull out heavy metals, and I cannot remember it. So I'm useless to you. I'm sorry. Somebody, if somebody remembers, please tell me. Put the name of that in there. Also, if you're getting tin. Again, not only finding the source of it, you're going to want to check your salt water. This is fresh saltwater batch. Make sure you're checking that. And I know you're checking it with an ICP test, right? They're not cheap. Okay, I get it. But if you're using a salt and you don't have anything in any way of like adding tin to your tank, right? You don't got tin foil in there. I don't know. So let's just say you don't have any like eye-opening major, like, oh, that's why I have tin in my tank. You might want to consider spending a little extra in testing your salt, your ICP test for your salt brand, whatever you use, just to see. There's always a chance. There's always could be a bad batch. Yeah, it's worth a shot. But yeah, I don't remember the media. So they put it down here. They did a polyfilter, Metazorb. By 2 little fishies. Yeah. So there's a couple different things there. Pureit. Yep. So just there's a few different things you can try. As with anything, chemical wise, or if you're going to use anything to remove anything from your tank, go very slow, really, really, really slow. Don't go full force on anything because you might have it's easier to pull out slowly than try to put stuff back in. Okay. That Happy Valentine's Day joke. Wait, pull out slow. Okay. No, does that make sense? It's easier to pull out slowly than to put things back in as a dirty joke. I don't know if that's dirty enough, but Happy Valentine's Day. Haven't had to solve this before. Well, I'm glad he at least told you. Sammy at least told you what he thinks you need to do. Appreciate everybody being here. 65 people. It's been a while since we had numbers like that. Appreciate it. Happy being single, or if you're here with your significant other listening to me ramble, I appreciate that as well. And thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it. I don't know if it pops up on your guys' end yet, but it came up on my screen here, so I appreciate that. Let me click back up here. Looking to get into 3D printing, I'm debating on buying a new Ender 3 or buying a used one with upgrades. About the same price. Any suggestions? Okay, so the Ender 3 Pro. Okay, so if you're just starting out, I'm just going to back up here. If you're just starting out with 3D printing, then yeah, you can go with you can get a used one. Depending, I don't know what kind of upgrades they have. I mean, if there's auto bed leveling, that's pretty cool. That's definitely going to be nice and easy for you. But if you're just starting and you never did it before, I would just buy a standard Ender 3 Pro out of the box from Amazon or whatever. Put it together yourself and go through the process of learning how to 3D print. All the stuff about bed leveling and getting the first layer to stick and all the the infills and the type of filament you want to use and all the stuff that makes 3D printing really fun. I would do that. Don't be in a rush to make it a business because, like everything else, it becomes a freaking job. So, after you have some fun with that, then you can go ahead and do your own upgrades. That's pretty cool. You can put your bed leveling in there if you want to do that. You can add a Raspberry Pi. You can do new heating elements, filament heads. Hot ends, all sorts of stuff. Me personally, I'm over that nonsense. The 22 printers that I have right now, they are an Ender. Well, all of them, 20 of them are all Ender 3 Pro frames. Everything else I have replaced. Besides the LCD screen is also stock, but everything else I've redone myself. I've done all new beds and heating and all sorts of stuff, hot ends, bed leveling, everything. Made it my own version, the type of printer that I wanted it to be, and that's cool and all. But I'm about done doing that. So from this point forward, I will be buying Prusa Mark IIIs, and I will be adding my Raspberry Pi and any other stuff that I feel like adding to it. But I'm actually just moving into a more stable, better, professionally maintained, or in general built printer platform. So I will be moving into Prusas from here on out. I'm still going to keep my 22 Enders that I have now, but I'm just moving on to bigger and better things. Actually, if I was to calculate, it's cheaper to get the Prusa than it is the Ender 3 with all the upgrades. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But again, just enjoy the journey. Just buy it out of the box, put it together, and have some fun with it. Again, it's a great hobby. I love 3D printing, and I actually love designing things even more through Fusion 360. I started off in Tinkercad, and you can go ahead and start off there. You can learn how to do stuff there, and if you want to spend the money on Fusion 360 and take the classes and all that kind of stuff, you can do that. But it's really awesome. I enjoy it very much. It kind of allows me to create whatever I want. Obviously pay my bills, which is nice. So, are you from Harrisburg? I am from Harrisburg. Yep. Matt says, I have a serious issue with, what's up, Cat? Please don't step on that. Please and thank you. Yep. Nope. You did. I knew you would. Okay. All right. I have a serious issue with a very fine velvet color algae growing on my coralline algae that showed up with dinos. Ever notice anything like that? It's not like cyano, extremely hard to remove. So it's a very fine velvet color algae growing on my coralline algae that showed up with dinos. Well, it sounds like a bacteria. If it showed up with dino, it had to have been part of the imbalance in the tank. I would say make sure your nutrients are still in check and they stay continued. Maybe increase them a little bit. I mean, don't go too crazy. And then manually remove. I'm guessing your cleanup crew's not touching it at all. Usually anything that color, cleanup crew is not really going to mess with. They usually only focus on green things. I don't think it's based on them being colorblind or anything. I think it's just based on usually stuff that is a reddish of color or anything of that pigment is usually indication of bacteria. So I wouldn't think a cleanup crew would mess with that or your fish. So consider just manually removing, increasing your nutrients. And I do use a product It's called Dr. Tim's Eco Balance. I don't use a ton of it just because I've gone the opposite route of having too much bacteria in the tank, believe it or not. And yeah, so consider adding something like that or something that can just add biodiversity to the system to help with that. So consider all those options. Are you in the? No, you're not. Are you in the sink again? Really? How? No, you're not. Okay. I thought I heard you peeing in the sink. Oh man, it's like having another kid. By the way, the only female in my house is the cat. I don't know what Bertha is. I mean, I'm assuming she's a female. Me neither. Actually, it was Travis who guided me. Cool. The dry rock, was I supposed to do a water change and feed the rock some mysis? How do I know if the rock is ready to go in the tank? Okay. So if it's in the bin, the best way to can tell is just to test the bin water like you would test a main display if you had the rock in there. So with that said, if you're testing and you see nitrates with no nitrites and no ammonia within that water, then it is cycled. Usually if you just have nitrates, it's pretty much cycled and it's ready to go. And then, yeah, you're good to go. It's cycled. That's the whole process. You go from ammonia to nitrites and then nitrites to nitrates. And once you have nitrates and phosphates, you're cycled. So good to go. Hey, keep it calm. Yeah, I'm trying. I like your emoji face there. It's an interesting hairdo. I don't really have hair, so. You're working hard. Wish you had a text buddy in me to help you out. I wish you had a text buddy in me to help you out. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but hey. Hey, Travis, I want to upgrade my system in my apartment, but I have a newborn on the way. March, congratulations. Options are 40 gallon with some DIY, 40 gallon all in one, BioCube 32. Currently have a 13 Evo. Having any recommendations? Well, if you can get anything with a sump, you're going to be better off, Oscar. 40 gallon with a sump would be my bet. I would go that route just because you can upgrade the skimmer. You can do a lot more with the system. You won't get bored with it as quickly, and you can still have a 40 gallon. So do the 40 gallon with sump. Do it now. Congratulations on the kid, by the way. I also keep a UV on 24/7, Sydney, while battling. Yeah, UV is definitely going to be helpful as well, especially it's going to break up and kill the cells for the cyano. So cool. Why does my toadstool hardly ever open? Toadstools can be pretty weird. If they're getting too much direct flow, they don't really like to open. If you have I know that clownfish like to host toadstools. So if you have a clownfish in there pissing around, it can really make it unhappy. Also nutrients. Again, we kind of go back to nutrients is like the building block of happiness when it comes to corals. So if you're really low on nutrients, then your toadstool's probably not going to like that, and it's going to stay closed up. Fluctuations in alkalinity, also not really as much as if it was an SPS coral, but they still play a role in how happy a coral can be. Check those out. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. I'm just getting through some of these questions. That's all. Howdy, hope you're having a wonderful day. Appreciate it. I was curious what you use for potassium dosing. I'm having a hard time deciding on what to use. I use Brightwell Aquatics potassium. Now I did create my own brand of it, but then I had a hard time getting the salt, and then it was kind of to the point where I just didn't want to do it anymore. It was just easier to buy it. So I use Brightwell's potassium, pretty good stuff. I do like 30 milliliters twice a week. Seems to be pretty good for my levels. And I also use Fritz Blue Box, which has a higher level of potassium in it opposed to other salts. So it seems to work out pretty well. So here you go. April 23rd and 24th. Let me see what that is. Pull that up here real quick. Okay. 23rd and 24th. That is a Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Yeah, I have the boys. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I don't know if I want to take them to Florida. No, I know I definitely don't want to take them to Florida. Yeah, can you imagine me with at least 3 of those jokers on a plane? No. Nope. I take them to the grocery store, which is fun most of the time. Not alone, man. My dad took off when I was a kid to smoke crack and party. I was 12. He did call to say, hey, when I was 40. Yeah, man. I just didn't want to be. I didn't want to. Yeah, fuck, I couldn't even imagine. Because it was rough, and it was rough. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that to my kids. I mean, sometimes it's good that that our parents did do that, so we can break the chain, and it just was done at that point. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. The boys will learn the right way to do things, and they won't do it with their kids. Crash at Gabe's. Yeah, right. Crashing at Gabe's. Fuck, I have to wear a chastity belt to keep him off me. Everybody knows who Gabe is. he's gonna listen to that and be like, what the heck, man? Keep his little dog away from me too. Ugh, I hate those little things. I was taught a long time ago that haze on your glass every morning is plankton, and still get that with the UV. I guess it could be. I never really thought about that. Polyfilter, yeah, that's what you guys can use. We mentioned that earlier. When first setting up a skimmer, do you get microbubbles in the display tank? New to having a sump and a skimmer. Well, it depends on where the skimmer is in your sump. If you're getting microbubbles, that means that whatever's coming out of the skimmer is getting through the bubble trap and going into your return section and getting into your main display. So a couple options. You can move the skimmer to a different part of the sump if that's possible. If not, you can put a sponge in between the sections to prevent the bubbles from getting through and getting pulled up. Or you can dial your skimmer to the point where it's not a bunch of micro bubbles. You can put depending on what type of skimmer it is, you can put a sponge on the outlet of the skimmer, again, depending on the type, which can break down stop the micro bubbles. The easiest route is just to put something in between the sections. If you don't have sections in your sump, then that's definitely going to be part of the issue. And I would recommend that you put some in. If not, if it's just like an open 40-gallon breeder sump and you're getting micro bubbles, you can even maybe consider putting the skimmer closer to the return section, or not the return section, the section in which the water is coming in. So technically it's the return to the sump section. But what I mean by that is then you can put like rubble rock or something in between to break the bubbles up before they get to the return pump. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. From Brightwell Aquatics. Again, appreciate the super chat on that as well. I know I mentioned it earlier, but appreciate it. Travis, I sent you a pic of the info for the Pittsburgh Coral Show on your website. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. You guys, there you go. You guys are already answering it. Appreciate that, Marcus. Yeah, and if the skimmer's brand new, you're going to get more micro bubbles than you usually would. I didn't think about that until just now. So yeah, once it's broken in, it might cut down on the micro bubbles. I've used Chemi Pure Elite. Heard it was better. I've never used it before. I take that back. I think I used it at Palooza 2018 when I had a cloudiness in my tank. Pretty sure I used it then for my selling coral, and it worked. Yep. Later, Darren. I'll talk to you later, man. I sent you a message, by the way. I don't know if you're probably still not here. This was 10 minutes ago. Text me back because I know we got to set some stuff up. I know you got some stuff going on too, so hit me up. Wait, and do the New York in June. I'll check the dates. Cool. June, New York. Okay, yeah, I like that, and we can get Scott to go too. Roscoe's Reef, we'll get him to go as well. In your opinion, if I have kept a 10-gallon nano with 10-gallon sump, would I be just a successful reef with a 40-gallon or possibly more successful? Well, I mean, hey, if you're keeping a 10-gallon with a 10-gallon sump going well, I mean, a lot of people think that smaller tanks are harder to take care of, and essentially they are because the fluctuations are a little bit more drastic. We can go into all those reasons later, but yeah, I mean, if you're doing well with a 10-gallon nano with a 10-gallon sump, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do well with a 40-gallon. I mean, it's 30 gallons more. I mean, or technically 20 if you count both water volumes. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. As with everything, I mean, go slow, cure your rock. Make sure you're not dumping a bunch of fish in there just because you have a bigger tank. You don't need a ton more fish. Just take your time. Do what you did with your 10-gallon, and just take your time. You'll be fine. Do you think the bacteria in the bin with the rock over 2 months is dead by now, seeing that I didn't feed it? What's the next step? Well, I mean, if you have nitrates in the tank, if you have nitrates in that water, test it. If you have nitrates, then the bacteria is not dead. I highly doubt it's going to die. There's always going to be a food source. There might not be a ton of it, but the bacteria will adjust. As long as the water wasn't stagnant or just sitting there without any flow, I think you'll be fine. So the next step is, if you have nitrates, you go ahead and you can put that rock in your display tank now. And I would still wait at least a couple weeks before adding any fish, just to give the rock time to adjust. You can feed it a little bit of food here and there, but yeah, you can move it into your main display once it's cured. All right. We're almost done here. We're gonna be heading. Man, we're at an hour anyway, so we're pretty much. I'm gonna answer up these last couple questions. If you guys have any more, you can add them now and make them quick, because we only have like 5 minutes. So next, I do have a section to put something in. Yes, that helps. Thanks. Okay, cool. I have a 40-gallon all-in-one, and every time I put filter floss in, I can't read. I have a 40-gallon all-in-one, and every time I put filter floss in, the ATO goes whack. Stopped using floss, but would like any tips? What do you mean it goes whack? Like it just starts? Okay, so what, the filter floss slows down the flow so much that it ends up causing the ATO to kick on? Is that what you mean? Don't put as much in there, I guess. Or a thinner version of it doesn't clog up so quickly. I'm trying to figure out what the exact problem is, just because I'm not using it. Also, you can get an ATO that doesn't just that doesn't just time out after a certain amount of time. There's different options for that. I know I use the ATO Micro in my smaller tanks, and they works out pretty well. It does at some point, it will beep and let you know that it's not getting enough water in there. This cat is like super clingy. You're clingy. Holy crap. But yeah, I don't think that helped your question, Zach. I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Ouch, nails. But yeah, guys. Well, appreciate all y'all being here, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to do tomorrow I'm going to do the update video, and you should make 3D printed algae scrubbers. Yeah. It's on the list. Trust me. It's on the list. There's so many things on the list. But yeah, so I'm going to do the update video. I'll have that out tomorrow. I'm going to make a couple other ones tomorrow, as long as the schedule works out. I was supposed to get my teeth fitted tomorrow, but they don't have enough staff, so I got to wait longer. That's okay, though. But yeah, so I'm going to get a couple more videos out this week. And again, if you want to support the channel, head over to fishfx.com. And yeah, appreciate that. Is there another question came in? Hey, Travis, how many 20 frag packs do you have available? I could probably squeeze out 1 or 2 more. I know I got to change it on the website, but I could squeeze out 1 or 2 more. I just cut a bunch of stuff the other week, and I just got to wait for it to completely heal. But yeah, we're pretty good. Again, I'm going to be shipping tomorrow. The weather better this Sub-Zero stuff is getting pretty old. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to head out. I got some stuff to do. And I appreciate everybody being here. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Peace.